The night was quiet at the SETI Institute in California. Dr. Sarah Chen sat at her desk, eyes fixed on the computer screen. For years, she had searched the stars for signs of alien life. Tonight was just another shift in a long series of uneventful nights. Suddenly, a loud beep from her console made her jump. Sarah's eyes widened as she saw the readings. "This can't be right," she whispered, her heart racing. The signal was unlike anything she had ever seen before. It was strong, regular, and clearly artificial. Sarah's hand shook as she reached for her phone to call her supervisor. Within hours, observatories around the world confirmed the signal. It wasn't just coming from one direction in space. Similar signals were detected from multiple points across the sky. The scientific community was in an uproar. As dawn broke over different parts of the world, people woke up to shocking news headlines. Alien signals, DETCTED. Are we not alone? Scientists skion firm, extraterrestrial sionitated. Global leaders, he AOFR mim urgency meeting. In New York, the United Nations building buzzed with activity. Security was tight as world leaders arrived for an emergency session. Inside the General Assembly Hall, the atmosphere was tense. UN Secretary-General Amina Khoury took the podium, her face grave. "Distinguished delegates," she began, "we face an unprecedented situation. The signals we have detected are not random. They are complex, organized, and clearly of intelligent origin." A murmur ran through the crowd. Amina continued, "But there's more. Our top scientists and military experts have analyzed the signals. They appear to be some kind of countdown." The room erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted questions and demands. Amina raised her hands for silence. "Please, we must remain calm," she urged. "What we need now is unity and clear thinking. We have our best minds working on decoding these messages." Meanwhile, in a secret military base in the Mojave Desert, a team of scientists and codebreakers worked around the clock. Dr. James Wilson, a renowned cryptologist, stared at his screen, his eyes red from lack of sleep. "It's like nothing we've ever seen," he muttered to his colleague, Dr. Yuki Tanaka. "The complexity of this language, it's light years beyond us." Yuki nodded, equally frustrated. "But we have to crack it. The countdown, it's moving too fast. Whatever's coming, it'll be here soon." As days passed, strange phenomena began to occur around the globe. In Brazil, farmers reported their crops growing at impossible speeds. In Siberia, frozen lakes mysteriously thawed in the middle of winter. And in Australia, the famous Uluru Rock began to glow with an eerie blue light. People around the world were scared and confused. Some claimed it was the end times. Others formed cults worshipping the coming aliens. Governments struggled to maintain order as panic spread. Then, exactly 1 week after the first signal was detected, every electronic device on Earth received the same message. Cell phones, computers, televisions, all displayed the same text in glowing blue letters. "Prepare for inspection. Resistance is futile." The message was followed by a series of coordinates. When scientists checked, they realized with horror that the coordinates pointed to a location just beyond Mars' orbit. Something was coming. Fast. World leaders gathered once again, this time in a secret bunker deep beneath the Swiss Alps. The mood was grim as they reviewed the latest intelligence. "The object is massive," General Lai of China reported. "Our estimates suggest it's about the size of the moon. And it's not alone. Our long-range scans show a fleet of smaller craft accompanying it." President Amelia Rodriguez of the United States stood up. "Then we have no choice," she said firmly. "We must prepare for the possibility of invasion. I propose we pool all our military resources, effective immediately." As the leaders debated, the people of Earth looked to the sky with a mixture of fear and wonder. In homes, schools, and public squares, humans of all nations united in their anxiety about what the future might hold. Little did they know, humanity was about to face its greatest challenge yet. The Galactic Empire had Earth in its sights, and the countdown to first contact was almost over. The world held its breath as the alien fleet approached. Scientists tracked its progress hour by hour, updating world leaders and the public. As the massive ships entered the solar system, they slowed down, taking up positions around Earth's orbit. For 3 days, the aliens remained silent. The suspense was unbearable. Then, without warning, it happened. At exactly noon GMT, every screen on Earth lit up with the same image. A tall, humanoid figure with metallic blue skin and glowing silver eyes. The being spoke, its voice translated into all Earth's languages simultaneously. People of Earth, it said, I am Ambassador Zix of the Galactic Empire. We have come to offer you a choice. In New York, the United Nations General Assembly watched in stunned silence. Ambassador Zix continued, For millennia, we have observed your planet. We have seen your wars, your struggles, and your potential. The time has come for you to join the greater galactic community. The aliens' eyes seemed to stare directly at each viewer. You have 2 options. Join our empire willingly, and we will guide your species to greatness among the stars. Refuse, and we will be forced to pacify your world. Gasps echoed through the UN chamber. Ambassador Zix's final words chilled everyone to the bone. You have 30 Earth days to decide. Choose wisely. The transmission ended, leaving billions in shock. Chaos erupted worldwide. In major cities, people rushed to stock up on supplies. Some fled to the countryside, fearing alien attacks. Others formed pro-alien cults, eager to embrace their new overlords. World leaders scrambled to respond. In Washington, D.C., President Rodriguez addressed the nation. My fellow Americans and citizens of the world, we face an unprecedented challenge. But let me be clear, Earth's freedom is not negotiable. We will not bow to threats, no matter where they come from. Similar speeches echoed around the globe, but privately, leaders were far less confident. In a secret underground bunker, representatives from major world powers met to discuss their options. We can't possibly fight them, said the Russian president, his face grim. Did you see the size of their ships? We'd be decimated. The Chinese premier nodded in agreement. Perhaps we should consider their offer. Joining peacefully might be our best chance for survival. But others disagreed. The Indian Prime Minister stood up, her eyes flashing. And become slaves? Never. We must find a way to defend ourselves. As the debate raged on, scientists worked tirelessly to learn more about the alien threat. Dr. Sarah Chen, who first detected the alien signals, now led a team analyzing the alien ships. Their technology is incredible, she told her colleagues, pointing to a 3D model of the alien fleet. But look here, their ships emit a strange energy signature. If we could understand it, maybe we could find a weakness. Meanwhile, the aliens made no further contact. Their ships remained in orbit, silent and watchful. The lack of action only increased Earth's anxiety. On day 10 of the 30-day deadline, a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. In a small lab in Kenya, Dr. Amani Okoro made a startling discovery. The aliens' language, she explained excitedly to world leaders via video conference. It's not just words, it's mathematical, and hidden in their message is a code. Coordinates to a location on Earth. The coordinates pointed to a spot in the Amazon rainforest. Within hours, an international team was on its way to investigate. What they found shocked everyone. Hidden deep in the jungle was an ancient structure, clearly not of human origin. Its walls were covered in symbols matching the alien language. This proves it, Dr. Okoro said, her voice filled with awe. They've been here before. Maybe they had a hand in our evolution. As news of the discovery spread, it changed everything. People's fear began to mix with curiosity and even excitement. What other secrets about humanity's past might the aliens reveal? But time was running out. Earth had just 20 days left to make its decision: join the Galactic Empire or face the consequences. As the deadline approached, humanity stood at a crossroads. The next few weeks would determine the fate of the entire planet. The greatest challenge in human history had begun, and no one knew how it would end. As the days ticked by, Earth found itself caught in a whirlwind of activity. The discovery of the alien structure in the Amazon had sparked intense debate and research. Scientists from around the world flocked to the site, hoping to uncover more secrets about humanity's past and the aliens' true intentions. Dr. Amani Okoro led the research team at the Amazon site. As she studied the strange symbols on the walls, she felt a mix of excitement and dread. These markings, she explained to her colleagues, they're not just a language. They're a history, our history. Her team worked day and night, translating the alien text. What they found was astonishing. The structure wasn't just a building. It was a library, containing records of Earth's past stretching back millions of years. According to this, Dr. Okoro said, her voice shaking, the aliens have been guiding our evolution for eons. They've been preparing us for this moment. This revelation sent shockwaves through the global community. People struggled to come to terms with the idea that humanity's entire existence might have been shaped by alien hands. In response to this news, 3 distinct factions emerged among Earth's population. The Joiners, led by charismatic tech billionaire Elon Zhang. This group advocated for accepting the Galactic Empire's offer. This is our destiny, Zhang proclaimed in a viral video. We've been prepared for this. It's time to take our place among the stars. The Resistors, spearheaded by decorated war veteran General Maria Alvarez, this faction argued for fighting against the aliens at all costs. Guided evolution or not, we've fought for our freedom too long to give it up now, Alvarez declared in a fiery speech. The Seekers, a smaller but influential group, led by philosopher Dr. Rajesh Patel, pushed for a third option. We need more information, Patel insisted. We should neither join nor fight until we truly understand what we're dealing with. As these factions grew, tensions rose around the world. Protests and counter-protests erupted in major cities. In some places, violence broke out between joiners and resistors. World leaders struggled to maintain order while also trying to decide Earth's fate. The UN Security Council met in emergency session after emergency session, but consensus seemed impossible. Meanwhile, in a hidden facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, a secret project was underway. Dr. Sarah Chen, along with a team of the world's brightest minds, worked tirelessly on a plan that might save humanity. We've been analyzing the energy signatures from the alien ships, Dr. Chen explained to a group of military leaders. We think we found a way to communicate with them on their level, maybe even influence their technology. General Lai of China leaned forward, intrigued. Are you saying we could control their ships? Dr. Chen shook her head. Not control, but maybe disrupt. It's a long shot, but it might give us a fighting chance if things go south. As the scientists worked on their secret weapon, diplomats made a bold move. They requested a face-to-face meeting with Ambassador Zix. To everyone's surprise, the aliens agreed. A location was chosen, the ancient alien structure in the Amazon. It seemed fitting, a place that represented both humanity's past and its possible future. On the day of the meeting, representatives from every nation gathered at the site. The air was thick with tension as they waited for the alien ambassador to arrive. Suddenly, the sky lit up. A small craft descended from the massive mothership in orbit, landing gracefully in the clearing before the structure. As the dust settled, a door opened and Ambassador Zix emerged. In person, the alien was even more imposing than on screen. Standing nearly 8 feet tall, its metallic blue skin shimmed in the sunlight. Those eerie silver eyes surveyed the gathered humans with an unreadable expression. UN Secretary General Amina Khoury stepped forward, her voice steady despite her nerves. Ambassador Zix, she said, On behalf of the people of Earth, we welcome you. We have many questions. Zix nodded, its voice resonating with an otherworldly timbre. And we have answers. But first, humans of Earth, you must make your choice. Will you join us and embrace your cosmic destiny? Or will you cling to your isolation and force our hand? As the ambassador spoke, Dr. Okoro noticed something strange. The symbols on the ancient structure began to glow, pulsing in rhythm with Zix's words. She realized with a start that whatever happened next would be shaped by forces set in motion long ago. The fate of humanity hung in the balance. With just days left until the deadline, Earth faced its greatest dilemma. Join, fight, or find another way. The choice would determine the future of the entire species. As tensions rose across the globe, a small team of scientists made a breakthrough that would change everything. In a secret lab deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. Elena Volkov and her international team had been working nonstop since the aliens arrived. "We've found something," Dr. Volkov announced to the world leaders gathered on a secure video call. Her eyes gleamed with excitement and fear. "It's not just a weapon. It's a key to understanding our entire planet." The discovery had started with a strange energy reading coming from the Earth's core. At first, they thought it was a glitch in their instruments, but as they dug deeper, they realized it was something far more significant. "It's an artifact," Dr. Volkov explained, her voice filled with awe. "Buried at the very center of our planet. And it's old. Older than humanity itself." The leaders listened in stunned silence as Dr. Volkov revealed the truth. The artifact was a massive energy source, unlike anything they had ever seen. It was connected to a network of smaller artifacts scattered around the world, including the structure in the Amazon. "We believe this is what the aliens have been preparing us for," she said. "This artifact, it can harness the energy of the entire planet. In the right hands, it could be the most powerful weapon in the universe." The revelation sent shockwaves through the group. President Rodriguez of the United States was the first to speak. "Can we use it against the aliens if we need to?" Dr. Volkov hesitated. "Theoretically, yes, but there's a catch. To activate it, we need to connect all the smaller artifacts. And that requires global cooperation," finished the Chinese premier, his face grim. It was an unprecedented challenge. To unlock the power of the artifact, every nation would need to work together. They would need to share resources, technology, and trust each other completely. As the news spread to a select group of world leaders and scientists, the race was on. Teams were dispatched to locate the smaller artifacts hidden around the globe. Each one presented its own challenges. In the Sahara Desert, a team led by Dr. Amani Okoro battled sandstorms to uncover an artifact buried beneath ancient ruins. High in the Himalayas, Chinese and Indian scientists put aside their countries' differences to retrieve an artifact from a treacherous ice cave. Off the coast of Japan, a joint task force of submarines searched the ocean floor, following energy signatures to a hidden underwater temple. But as they worked, they faced a new threat. The Galactic Empire wasn't sitting idle. Ambassador Zix, sensing the humans were up to something, dispatched probes to monitor Earth's activities. In orbit, the alien ships began to move, taking up new positions around the planet. It was clear they suspected something was happening. Time was running out. With just days left before the Empire's deadline, the teams worked around the clock to bring the artifacts together. In Antarctica, Dr. Volkov's team prepared the main site. As each artifact arrived, they carefully integrated it into a complex system of energy conduits. The air crackled with power as the connections were made. But activating the weapon wasn't just a matter of flipping a switch. It required a level of unity Earth had never seen before. "The artifact doesn't just need our technology," Dr. Volkov explained to the assembled world leaders. "It needs our collective will, our combined intention. Without total agreement, it won't work." It was a tall order for a world that had been divided for so long. Old rivalries and suspicions threatened to derail the project at every turn. As the final preparations were made, a tense meeting was held at the United Nations. Representatives from every country on Earth gathered to make the most important decision in human history. Secretary General Amina Khoury addressed the assembly, her voice solemn. "We stand at a crossroads. Before us lies a power that could save us or destroy us. The choice is ours, but we must make it together." The debate that followed was heated. Some nations were reluctant to share their secrets. Others feared the consequences of wielding such power. As arguments flew back and forth, Dr. Elena Volkov stepped up to the podium. She wasn't a politician or a public speaker, but her words cut through the noise. "Look at what we've already accomplished," she said, gesturing to a map showing the recovered artifacts. "We've done in days what might have taken years, all because we worked together. Imagine what we could do if we truly united." Her speech touched something deep in the hearts of those present. Slowly, a consensus began to form. As the vote was called, tension filled the air. The future of humanity hung in the balance. Would Earth unite to face the Galactic Empire, or would ancient divisions doom them all? The world held its breath, waiting for the answer that would determine the fate of the entire planet. The United Nations chamber erupted in cheers as the final vote was tallied. Against all odds, the nations of Earth had agreed to unite. The decision to activate the ancient artifact was unanimous. As the applause died down, Secretary General Amina Khoury's voice rang out. "Now, the real work begins." All around the world, preparations kicked into high gear. Military forces combined their efforts, pooling resources and sharing top-secret technologies. Scientists from rival nations worked side by side, racing against time to understand and control the artifact's power. In Antarctica, Dr. Elena Volkov led the main team. The underground lab hummed with activity as the final connections were made. "We're almost there," she announced, her eyes bright with excitement. "Just a few more calibrations, and we'll be ready for the test run." But not everyone on Earth was happy about this turn of events. In the shadows, a small group of humans had made a different choice. In a dimly lit room, in an abandoned warehouse, a figure in a hooded cloak spoke to a holographic image of Ambassador Zix. "The humans are planning something big," the figure said, voice distorted to hide their identity. "They've found some kind of ancient weapon." Zix's silver eyes narrowed. "You've done well, Agent. Continue to monitor and report. The Empire will reward your loyalty." As the hologram flickered out, the hooded figure smiled. They weren't alone. Across the globe, other Galactic Empire agents were at work, infiltrating key facilities and gathering intelligence. Back at the UN, security teams worked around the clock to protect against sabotage. General Maria Alvarez, once a vocal member of the Resistors, now led Earth's unified defense forces. "We can't take any chances," she barked at her team. "Check everyone, no matter how high-ranking. Trust no one completely." Despite their best efforts, signs of the Empire's infiltration began to appear. In New Delhi, a power station crucial to the artifact network suddenly went offline. Initial reports blamed it on equipment failure, but investigators soon discovered signs of deliberate sabotage. In Rio de Janeiro, a team of scientists narrowly escaped when their lab caught fire. The blaze destroyed months of research data. Later, security footage revealed a trusted colleague planting the incendiary device. Each incident raised tensions and threatened to unravel the fragile global alliance. Suspicions grew as nations began to accuse each other of harboring traitors. Elon Zhang, the tech billionaire who had once advocated for joining the Empire, called for calm. "We can't let fear divide us now," he said in a worldwide broadcast. "That's exactly what the Empire wants. We must stand together." His words helped, but the damage was done. As the deadline drew nearer, Earth's leaders implemented stricter security measures. The project to activate the artifact slowed as each step was double and triple checked for signs of tampering. In orbit, the alien fleet grew restless. More ships arrived daily, taking up positions around the planet. Their presence was a constant reminder of the choice Earth faced. Ambassador Zix requested another meeting. This time, the alien diplomat's tone was less patient. "We've observed your recent activities with great interest," Zix said, silver eyes scanning the gathered human leaders. "I hope you're not planning anything foolish." Secretary General Corey kept her composure. "We're simply preparing for all possibilities, Ambassador. Surely you understand our caution, given the magnitude of the decision before us." Zix's expression was unreadable. "Of course, but remember, time grows short. The Empire's patience is not unlimited." As the meeting ended, Dr. Amani Okoro approached Dr. Volkov with troubling news. "Elena," she whispered, "I've been analyzing the alien language from the Amazon structure. There's something we missed. A warning." Volkov's eyes widened. "What kind of warning?" Okoro's voice trembled. "It's about the artifact. If we're not careful with its power, we could do more than just defend Earth. We could accidentally destroy everything." The two scientists shared a look of horror. They had to tell the others, but who could they trust? The fate of the world hung in the balance, and one wrong move could doom them all. As the sun set on another tense day, the people of Earth looked to the stars with a mixture of hope and fear. The deadline was almost upon them. Soon, they would face the moment of truth. Would their unity hold? Or would betrayal from within destroy their last chance at freedom? The final countdown had begun. The world held its breath as the final 24 hours approached. In every city, town, and village, people gathered around screens, waiting for news. The tension was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. In Antarctica, Dr. Elena Volkov and her team worked frantically to finish the artifact's activation sequence. The warning from Dr. Amani Okoro weighed heavily on their minds. They had to get it right, or risk destroying everything. "Final systems check," Dr. Volkov called out, her voice echoing through the underground facility. "Are we ready?" One by one, her team confirmed their stations were go. As the last "ready" came in, a hush fell over the room. This was it, the moment of truth. Dr. Volkov's hand hovered over the activation switch. Just as she was about to flip it, alarms blared throughout the facility. "We've got incoming," shouted a technician. "Multiple objects entering Earth's atmosphere." On screens around the world, people watched in horror as hundreds of smaller alien ships descended from the massive fleet in orbit. They were coming down fast, heading for major cities and key military installations. At the United Nations, chaos erupted. Leaders demanded immediate action. Secretary General Amina Corey fought to be heard above the din. "We need to buy more time," she shouted. "We have to stall them until the artifact is ready." In orbit, aboard the alien mothership, Ambassador Zix prepared to address Earth one last time. The alien's silver eyes gleamed with a mix of anticipation and something that might have been regret. "Humans of Earth," Zix's voice boomed from every speaker and screen on the planet. "Your time has run out. We had hoped you would choose wisely, but it seems you insist on resistance." As Zix spoke, the smaller alien ships took up positions around the globe. They hovered ominously, weapons primed but not yet firing. "This is your final warning," Zix continued. "Surrender now, and we will be merciful. Continue to resist, and we will have no choice but to pacify your world by force." In the Antarctic base, Dr. Volkov made a decision. "We're activating now," she announced. "It's not perfect, but it's our only chance." She flipped the switch. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then a low hum began to build. It started in Antarctica, but quickly spread across the globe. People felt it in their bones, a vibration that seemed to come from the Earth itself. Back at the UN, General Maria Alvarez stepped up to the podium. Her face was grim but determined as she addressed Ambassador Zix and the world. "We hear your warning, Ambassador," she said, her voice steady. "Now hear ours. We've discovered the legacy left to us by those who came before. We've unlocked power you can't imagine. On cue, beams of energy shot up from points all around the globe, the locations of the smaller artifacts. They converged high in the atmosphere, forming a shimmering shield around the planet. Zix's eyes widened in surprise. This was unexpected. General Alvarez continued, "If you attack us, you'll face a weapon that can reshape the cosmos. Are you willing to take that risk?" For a long moment, there was silence. The world waited, breath held, to see how the Galactic Empire would respond. Then, incredibly, the alien ships began to pull back. They ascended slowly, returning to the main fleet in orbit. Ambassador Zix's voice came again, but this time it had lost some of its confidence. "It seems we underestimated you, humans. Perhaps there is more to your species than we realized." A cheer went up around the world. Had they done it? Had they actually scared off the Galactic Empire? But Dr. Volkov and her team weren't celebrating. In Antarctica, warning lights flashed across their consoles. "The power levels are too high," Dr. Okoro shouted. "We can't control it." The hum that had spread across the planet was growing louder. In cities around the world, windows shattered. The ground began to shake. Dr. Volkov realized with horror what was happening. "It's too much power," she whispered. "We've awakened something we don't understand." As the earth trembled and the sky lit up with otherworldly energies, humanity faced a new and terrifying question. Had they just saved themselves from alien domination, only to accidentally trigger their own destruction? The final countdown had ended, but Earth's trial was far from over. The true test was just beginning. The Earth shook violently as the ancient artifact's power surged out of control. Cities trembled, oceans roiled, and the sky blazed with unearthly lights. In Antarctica, Dr. Elena Volkov and her team fought desperately to contain the energy they had unleashed. "We need to shut it down," Dr. Amani Okoro shouted over the deafening roar of the machines. But Dr. Volkov shook her head, her eyes wide with sudden understanding. "No," she said, "we need to guide it." In that moment of crisis, she realized the truth. The artifact wasn't just a weapon, it was a key to unlocking humanity's true potential. As if responding to her thoughts, the artifact's energy began to change. The destructive vibrations calmed, replaced by a warm, pulsing glow that spread across the planet. In orbit, Ambassador Zix and the Galactic Empire fleet watched in astonishment. The energy shield around Earth transformed, becoming a swirling vortex of colors and patterns beyond their comprehension. On the ground, something extraordinary was happening. People all over the world felt a strange sensation, a sudden connection to each other and to the Earth itself. It was as if the entire human race had become linked in a vast, invisible network. At the United Nations, Secretary General Amina Khoury gasped as understanding flooded her mind. "We are one," she whispered, tears in her eyes. The knowledge hidden within the artifact poured into human consciousness. Millennia of history, science, and cosmic wisdom became accessible to all. In an instant, humanity leaped forward in its evolution. Dr. Volkov's voice, amplified by the artifact's power, reached every person on Earth. "This is our true heritage," she said. "Not just a weapon, but a gift, a chance to become something greater." As one, humanity made a choice. They embraced the change, allowing the artifact's energy to flow through them and transform them. In cities around the world, people stepped out of their homes, looking at each other with new eyes. Old hatreds and fears melted away, replaced by understanding and empathy. The differences that had divided them for so long now seemed trivial in the face of their shared humanity. High above, the Galactic Empire fleet remained frozen in awe. They had come expecting to find a primitive species ready for conquest. Instead, they witnessed the birth of something new and wondrous. Ambassador Zix, his silver eyes wide with wonder, opened a channel to Earth. What have you become?" he asked, his usual confidence replaced by uncertainty. General Maria Alvarez, her mind now linked with millions of others, stepped forward to answer. Her voice, when she spoke, carried the weight of all humanity. "We have become what we were always meant to be, Ambassador," she said. "Not your subjects, not your enemies, but your equals, perhaps even your teachers." The alien ships began to retreat, not in fear, but in respect. They recognized that humanity had transcended, becoming something beyond their empire's understanding. As the fleet departed, Earth continued its transformation. The artifact's energy, guided by the collective will of humanity, began to heal the planet. Polluted skies cleared, barren lands bloomed, and the scars of old conflicts faded away. In Antarctica, Dr. Volkov and her team emerged from their facility to a changed world. The icy landscape had transformed into a lush garden, teeming with life that had not existed for millions of years. "We did it," Dr. Okoro said, laughing and crying at the same time. "We actually did it." Dr. Volkov nodded, a smile on her face. "No, Amani, we all did it. Together." In the days that followed, humanity began to explore its new capabilities. They found they could reshape their world with thought, cure diseases with a touch, and even reach out to the stars with their minds. The United Nations, once a forum for debate and division, became a council for guiding humanity's growth. Led by Amina Khoury, they began to plan for a future among the stars. Ilan Zhang, the former joiner, now used his vision to design ships that could traverse the galaxy in the blink of an eye. "We'll explore the cosmos," he declared, "not as conquerors, but as friends to all life." And so, Earth entered a new age, an age of peace, of discovery, of unlimited potential. The threat of the Galactic Empire had pushed humanity to evolve, to become something greater than they had ever imagined. As the first of Earth's new ships prepared to launch, carrying ambassadors of peace to the far reaches of the galaxy, Dr. Elena Volkov looked up at the stars and smiled. The greatest adventure in human history was just beginning. Humanity had not just survived. They had triumphed, and the universe would never be the same.